There's an exceptional word in the English language, one of my favourites, and it's called onomatopoeia. It's spelled bizarrely, but it's actually really fun. It's when a word describes what it sounds like. For example,
Bump.
burp,
Buzz. Bump. Buzz.
burp,
Buzz. Bump. Buzz.
burp, burp.
Buzz.
And of course, they also exist in Chinese.
Pee pee pow pow.
Goo goo gaga.
Ji ji ja ja.
But because in Chinese the written language is pictographic, literally it's based upon pictures of real things, there's another version of onomatopoeia that we don't have in English or many other modern languages, and that is 象形文字. Let's open China.
If you do come to China, which of course you should,
Yeah.
you will see this character at food markets, on the streets, or in the doorways of restaurants everywhere. It's pronounced chuan, and it looks just like a kebab. And in fact, that's exactly what you're going to get when you see it.
It's kind of useful late at night after a couple of drinks. The meaning of chuan is to skewer several items, just like a kebab. In fact, this is like the visual equivalent of onomatopoeia, where the name of something sounds like what it actually sounds like. Except that because in Chinese the written language is pictograms, it's made of pictures, and that means it looks like what it is. How brilliant is that?
Pretty brilliant. And how about these little guys? One is ao and the other is tu. Doesn't sound like anything we know, but they look like their meanings, which is something similar to convex and concave. Similar to an inner or outie belly button, right? What do you have?
I'm not telling you. Trade secrets. Let's see a few more. How about this one? Shan.
The original meaning of this one was a tall landform. It's the peak of 3 mountains and has come on to mean mountain. You can see the tallest one in the middle, right?
What about shui?
Well, here's the original. The middle line indicates a flow of water, like a stream or a river. And these smaller lines at the side show the ripples. Later, they got pushed together, and that's how they came to look like the modern day character for water.
You'd never have guessed it. Isn't that logical? But
Yeah,
amazing.
it is.
Yeah. There's also a few others. There is mu, lian, sun, and there's also day, which comes from the sun. There's moon and rain.
There's also another one called jiong. Guess what it means?
It's like really embarrassed and awkward. It's one of the most popular slang characters of the century so far in China too.
So how did they come to be, and why have they changed so much over the years? Well, it's actually super interesting.
Right, about 5,000 years ago, the Egyptians had already begun using their hieroglyphic writing system.
Because pictograms are often not immediately clear, they can be hard to study, making them difficult for beginners to memorize.
Indeed. Cuneiform characters, which were used in ancient Persia or modern-day Iran and Mesopotamia, evolved from pictograms too, and they were carved out of tablets made from clay.
Cuneiform means wedge-shaped, which the tip of a chisel used to write cuneiform characters was. They were used in Mesopotamia right up until 500 BC and were a common form of writing all over Western Asia.
As for China, well, since ancient times, there's been a saying, 书画同源, writing, painting, same source. Quite literally, writing and painting come from the same place.
So what we're really seeing when we look at Chinese characters are the descendant images of how Chinese ancestors described the world around them. How cool is that?
And it's the characters which are still called image characters, and they are the written equivalent of onomatopoeia.
3,000 years BC, one of the most treasured forms of Chinese writing appeared, known as oracle bone characters. Today, more than 100,000 examples of these have been discovered, with over 4,000 characters, of which only about 2,500 are even understood. If we could figure out what they all mean, then we would understand a lot more about life at that time. So even today, there's still some mystery surrounding China and still so much more to learn about its history.
The way the oracle bone characters worked was really interesting. People in those days believed that if they asked questions, they wrote them on the bones, they carved them out. Then they fired the bones and then they would crack and it would reveal the will of the gods. It would divine the answers to their questions from the way the bones cracked. Anyway, from the ancient characters of the oracle bones to the modern day readopting of pictograms, the evolution of China's written language is not just a 4,000-year window on a country's culture. It shows how the need to express can really lead the evolution of the culture, and it's unique amongst other cultures and civilizations in the world. Indeed, it's China's written history, its length and its continuity, which sets it apart from all other cultures. So, If you like what you see, let us know. Give us some love, show like, subscribe, ask us questions, give us comments, give us some ideas. And check out our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, all that stuff.
And until next time.
Yes, make sure. Keep it open. Bye-bye.
Bye.